So today is all about the renewal of the covenant, and the covenant is such a massive thing in the Bible. It's the Old Testament and the New Testament. The word just means covenant. So you've got Old Covenant and New Covenant. And today we're learning all about the Old Covenant. And the Old Covenant worked a lot like lots of the contracts or the covenants that you and I might sign today. So if you want to get a car or something like that, you go to the bank, you take a loan out, you buy the car, then you have to pay the bank a certain amount of money every month. And if you don't do that, there's a punishment, there's a penalty clause, isn't there? And so all covenants tend to have three distinct dynamics. I've drawn them on this piece of paper, hopefully to make it clearer. You've got benefits, you've got obligations, and you've got penalty clauses. With that covenant of the car, the benefit is I get a car. The obligation is I have to pay like 200 quid a month to the bank. The penalty clause is if I don't do that, I lose the benefits. They take the car away from me and I might have to go to jail or something like that. The people of Israel had the same sort of thing going on. So they had benefit, which is they got to be God's people. They had obligations, which is clearly outlined here. The obligations are you live like this, you follow the law, you do what I'm asking you to do, you don't have other gods. And the penalty clause here again is made really clear, which is if you don't do that, I will turn against you, I will withdraw my protection, and you will basically end up in a place that you don't really want to be. So Moses outlines in the book of Deuteronomy the blessings and the curses that come from whether or not the people of Israel fulfill their obligations. And when we read that, it sounds pretty like harsh to talk about curses and things like that. And on one level, perhaps it is, but actually when we understand the full context and the relationship is that God found this people when they were nothing. And covenant is not simply about signing a contract, it's about a relationship. It's this weird mixture of law and love. Another example of covenant today would be marriage, where you sign a kind of a contract, but there's nothing dry and legalistic about it. It's about like I'm pledging to love you and I expect you to pledge to love me. And if you don't, then of course that's not good. And so the people of Israel are really effectively marrying God. And what he's outlining is that if you choose to turn away from me, then I will in turn turn away from you, and you will lose all the benefits of my protection. Where this gets amazing is when we get to the New Testament, because what happens in the New Testament is by the time you get there, God has realized the people of Israel are never really ever going to fulfill their obligations. So what he does is he comes himself as Jesus, and he fulfills the obligations on our behalf. So Jesus takes on all the obligations. He lives the perfect life. Not only that, but then Jesus takes the penalty clause on our behalf. When he dies on the cross, we will never fulfill the obligations, and he takes the penalty clause. So that leaves us with the benefits. In the new covenant, we just get the benefits. That's why it's such good news. Understanding covenant is not a small part of understanding our relationship with God. He is committed to us. He's made a binding agreement to be our friend. He's actually taken the penalty clause and he's fulfilled the obligations. And so we get to receive the benefits.